Hello, 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 everybody. Come on in the room. We are live. Happy Friday. Let's see who I have already here with me. I have Miss Scully Boo, of course. Hello to you. And Jessica. Hello, my friends. Carol, hi. How are ya? Who else do we have already here lurking in the comments section? Jim, hello to you. Monica, Miss Olajo, hello. Thank you so much for joining today. RG, Angela, hey, Miss Francis, Danielle. I am so glad that you guys decided to join me today. It is Friday, the last Friday in the month of June. This month was going super slow, and then it sped up, and I'm like, oh, it's over. It's gone, which also means that the second quarter of the year is done. Come the 1st, July 1st, we'll be 6 months into a very, very interesting 2025. I'm going to just leave it there. Hello, Flap Diddle and Sarah and Casey, JD. Come on in, everybody. I try to do my first couple of minutes by giving you all some love. Hey, Chris, so glad that you were able to join us. Did I say JD? If I didn't, hey, I'm glad you guys are able to join me today. A couple of things. First, I want to say congratulations to Lisa H. She is the winner of, I believe, you're a winner of some hooks or something amazing. But check your email for an email from our lovely Heather. It's not fake. It is a real email, and you are the winner of last week's giveaway. So congratulations to you. Next week, we'll be giving away Aurora polished 5, 6, and 7 size hooks. So if you haven't already done so, please go to the giveaway page and sign up for the giveaway. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Y'all know I love to say it. We ain't giving away the junk that done piled up in the bottom of somebody's desk drawer. We are giving away brand new product. So we are giving away Aurora hooks. They are brand new. And I'm still getting used to my desk, y'all. So please be patient with me. I put my hooks away, forgot to bring them down, but they're up there somewhere, and they are absolutely beautiful. And with that in mind, want to let you guys know, if you haven't already done so, gone to the website today, there is a new release. It is a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hook stand. It is so cute. I do not have one, but it is like square-ish or rectangular-ish. So you can fit 8 hooks into this stand. It is beautiful. It is ebony, and it is 15% off. The sale is still going on. So if you haven't already gone to the website, please go and check out the beautiful new ebony 8 hook standing display. It is on the website. Go and check it out. Thank you so much to whomever put the link in the comment section. It is beautiful, and you want it. You want it. I want it. It's so pretty. And y'all know I love ebony. Ebony was one of the first streamlined wood hooks that I ever received, and I just fell in love with it, and I called her my ebony princess for the longest time. So if you are interested or in need of a new hook stand, this is the one I would recommend that you get before the birthday sale ends, and it ends on Monday. So if you have not taken advantage of the amazing sale that's happening right now, what you waiting for? Get your life together and go on and get you something new. All right. So today, everybody, I am super excited about this guest that I have coming to join me today. She is an amazing woman. She's an amazing mom. I follow her on social media, and I'm always inspired by her posts, even when she's ranting. I'm always inspired by her posts. And to close out Gay Pride Month, I thought it would be a great idea to have this lovely lady come and join the conversation. So please help me welcome Jessie to the stage. There she is.
Hi.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I am good. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! I I am so happy to have you on with me. As I was sharing with you before we went live, you purchased Crochet Foundry, and we never ever got a chance to talk about it. And you got all kinds of things going on. You pride and all this crazy stuff that you got happening. So introduce yourself to those who may not know who you are. Let them know who you are, what you do, and why in the world is Mr. Deveter talking to you today.
Okay. You cut out just a little bit in there, but I think I got it all. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I am Jessie, and I initially kind of appeared online as Jessie at Home. Hi, Chris. Send me love letters over there. I love it. I started Jessie at Home when I had twins, and when they were about 6 months old or so, I started Jessie at Home as a way to share stories about my twins with my family that was all over the country and all over the world. So it kind of ended up turning into this crochet. I started adding my crafts to it, and it turned into a crochet blog and a knitting blog, and I was designing knit and crochet patterns. I started off as a costume designer, so it was just like the normal place to go with it. And I became really good friends with Lorene Eppolite through crochet blogging, and she's one of the people who originally started Crochet Foundry and then ended up at Furls. And then when Crochet Foundry went for sale, I found out and bought it as an addition to Jessie at Home. And it's been a blast. And like I said, I started that blog as a way when my twins were like 7 or 8 months old, and they graduated from high school last week.
Oh, geez. So first of all, congratulations. I am on your heels. My twins graduate next year. So it's
I saw that.
Crazy times. Like it's insane. So congratulations to you and your twins. And I, when I do a lot of these interviews, I always find out that 9 times out of 10 people become popular or whatever because of their kids.
Totally.
A lot of people start crocheting because of their kids. It's like, so I love hearing that story. So what are they going to do? What's the plan for them post-graduation?
Well, Vero, my son, he's not entirely sure what he wants to do. He loves art, but he wants to keep that as his hobby. He doesn't want to turn to his work, but he does want to work with his hands. Something working with his hands. So we've been talking about a lot of things, and he is going to Bergen County Community College, which is a really good community college, and it's close enough that he can take the bus from here because most community colleges don't have dorms.
Right.
So he's going to be doing that. Thankfully, well, a lot. My son is trans, and a lot of what happens moving forward is going to depend on what happens with our election for our governor in November. Yeah. Right now, we are an incredibly safe space for him. I have a dear friend with a trans son who lives in Ohio, and he just lost all of his gender affirming care because he's under 18. So he was going through gender affirming care, and then it just got taken away. So, our current governor has put a lot of things into the state constitution. So hopefully, even if we end up with a butthead as our new governor, things will be a little harder to get rid of. Yeah. But we're going to have to see what happens with that. Right now, as long as things stay good in New Jersey for him, then it's great for him to be going to New Jersey. If things go south, he is going to be turning 18 soon. Some places are calling under 19 bad for gender affirming care. So we're just going to have to see what happens there. But I'm knocking on wood that, things continue to be safe for him here in Jersey. And so that's the right choice.
Yeah.
And he's just going to figure out what he wants to do when he's at, he has he just keeps narrowing things down a little bit
Mhm.
more, a little bit more. We talk about various things that he can do. One of the things we were talking about yesterday was becoming a handyman, and like maybe because he wants his life to be his life, not his job to be his life, you know.
Yes, I love that.
Um, and so I was like, dude, you could become a really skilled handyman
Mhm.
and find a job at a decent apartment complex as the super.
Yep.
A super who is also a handyman is
Mhm.
very much a desired thing,
Mhm.
because then they
Mhm.
don't have to pay a separate handyman. I'm like, if you could be a super who's also a handyman,
Mhm.
then your job is not your life.
Right.
You just need to make sure that you're allowed to go out and do shit, do stuff.
Right.
Sorry,
Right.
go out and do stuff.
And
So,
if you're a handyman and a super, free rent. I mean,
exactly.
you
And then
can't lose with
get paid
that.
on top of that. So that's where he is. Kyla is much more knows what she wants to do. If you get Crochet Foundry magazine, you have seen that we have illustrations now, and we have starting in January we have the color in sketches of each of the designs, so you can do your color planning. So Kyla is our illustrator, and she is going to Savannah College of Art and Design. She's going no, that's okay. She's going to Savannah College of Art and Design. I tell them I have a live with Furls for an hour, and that's when they come down the stairs.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. That's the time.
So she's doing that for sequential art, so like comic books, storyboards, that sort of stuff.
So cool.
Yeah, so that is really exciting. She went there last summer. She was there for 5 weeks. And so she really has, it's a summer program called Rising Stars, and they get to take 2 of their freshman year classes. So that was awesome. So she really has a good idea of what it's all about.
That's really cool. Now, so my daughter wants to go to Virginia State University, and I'm always thinking like her and I are really close, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do when you leave? How are you processing that?
My husband is going to be much more heartbroken than I am when Kyla goes,
Okay.
when our daughter goes, because the 2 of them, she is definitely a daddy's girl, and my son is a mama's boy. But my son's staying.
Okay.
But no, I will definitely miss her as well. I'm not saying I'm not going to miss her. I will definitely very much miss her. I'm just more worried about him. Like, she's his little like ride or die, and I'm like, he's going to be so sad when she's gone.
Well, how did he do when she was there for the 5 weeks last summer?
He was okay. He actually did fine. So, but I think that the 5 weeks is a whole lot different than most of the year. And then she's thinking these summer programs that she attended as a high school student in the summers, she might want to do be staff on those and work those. So she might not be coming home very much at all.
Yeah, she's trying to stay gone. She like, I'm gonna go ahead and live my life and draw my drawings. Y'all enjoy, have fun.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Oh, that's so exciting. So we talked about the children. Now let's talk about mama. First of all, someone commented, love your shirt. What's the story behind the shirt? It's so cool. Love it. My husband has a song called Rise Up, which is always so cool. Yeah.
Well, there used to be this conference for bloggers called Snap for like craft home bloggers. It was started, I think, by mothers who blog. It was a while back. And Tamara Kelly of Moogly, she and I met through crochet blogging and became really good friends and started going to all sorts of conferences and stuff together. We were just roommates at H&H in May.
Nice.
And so we started going to the Snap conferences, and we went to like the last 3 or 4 before they stopped having them. And they would always have a song and a shirt that went with it. So I also have, and Tamara and I have the same shirts, which are really funny because there was one time we went to the Prime Publishing blogger conference, and her husband came as well. And at one point he asked me if I had raided his wife's closet. because I was wearing all the shirts from the conferences. And so, but yeah, this was one of the years, and they go with the song. So I have one that's This Girl's on Fire, and then I have Rise Up. And then one year there was one that didn't go with a song, and it says Better Than Sparkles and Unicorns Combined.
I love it. I love it. Whoever came up with those shirts.
I usually wear this on like election days or whatever. I think very much about what shirts I wear when I'm on lives. Usually it's some sort of a pride shirt for my kids, or it's Knit the Rainbow because I'm volunteer staff with Knit the Rainbow. Yeah. But I have so many things going on this week that I only have one pride shirt left, and I'm going to New York City Pride Fest with Knit the Rainbow on Sunday. So I need that on Sunday because Sunday is laundry day. I was like, I'll just put the Rise Up shirt. That'll work.
Yes, I saw your post about going to the Pride Parade and that you'll be at the Knit the Rainbow table. So I think that is so cool. Hopefully you guys get good weather. It's not too hot, not too cold, just a really nice day to go out there. I love it. Now, before your son transitioned, what was your affiliation with the community?
Oh, before either one of my daughters, also lesbian, and I mean, like, before any of this, like the first time either one of them came out to me at all, I think they were in like 5th or 6th grade, and it was during Pride Month, and we had gone to a store that had a bunch of Pride stuff, and bought some of it. Their birthday is July 13th, and they wanted a rainbow themed party. So I was like, well, let's go somewhere that is selling in June rainbow stuff, where some of the money is going to something like the Trevor Project or whatever. So we did that. We're buying all that stuff. So we're driving home from buying all this stuff for their birthday party from a place that was giving some of the money, the proceeds, to a queer organization. And I'm explaining to them the importance of why we need to be allies, right? I mean, I was like, it's the same thing. We've had this discussion about why we need to be allies for people of color, and how as white women, we have this this shield that is huge. It's, our privilege gives us this shield that is huge, and sometimes other people's shields are smaller. And so we need to use our shield to help protect them when somebody's attacking them. It's our responsibility as people with more privilege to help the people, to not help, but to stand with and share our shield. It's not like somebody, you don't ever want to feel like you're better or looking down, but what you want to do is you want to realize that life, butthead people have given you more privilege, more power than some others. And so the best way you can even that out is by sharing. So I'm like, you need to share your shield. Somebody's shield is smaller, you share it. So I'm explaining this to them, and then this little voice in the background from my daughter goes, "Hey mom, I'm a lesbian." I'm like, okay, cool. So, I mean, this was always who I was. When I was 14, I went to my very first protest, and it was a gay pride protest in Ohio. And while I am a straight cis woman, I was there with my brother and a bunch of his friends who were not. So we're all chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere." And this is when it was actually dangerous. It's starting to be, unfortunatately, again. But this is like the late 80s, early 90s, when it was, it was kind of dangerous. It was dangerous to do this. And I'm looking at the people. I'm like, I'm not queer. They're like, it's okay.
That doesn't matter.
Anyway.
It doesn't matter. Like, you're an ally. You're with us.
You can chant it with us. It's all good. I'm like, okay.
Yes. I love that for you. And I'm glad that your children have you in their corner and that you are such a huge support. There are so many children, obviously, we all know, who don't have that. So I'm glad that you are like right there with them and supporting them and pushing them and encouraging them and everybody that you encounter. So Really cool. Love, love, love it. Now, let's talk about Crochet Foundry. First of all, when I saw that Furls was selling Crochet Foundry, and I was like, wow, they just put out an open call. You can do that? That's crazy. And then when you were like, I want it, I'm like, wait a minute, this is awesome. I love this. I'm just watching it unfold, and I'm just engaged with it. What made you say, I want to do this?
I have no fucking idea.
Right. Like, with everything that you have going on, you're like, you take a magazine. Like,
what? Okay, so I said that Lorena and I had become friends through crochet blogging, right? Mm-hmm. Well, about a dozen years ago, she says to me, hey, Jessie, there's this thing, like we were at this point in our lives where we were spending like an hour or two every day on video calls while we were working. We would just have our computer on with our video call, the two of us just working and chatting, right? Mm-hmm. Like crocheting and chatting or whatever. She's like, hey, Jessie, there's this place called the Crochet Guild of America. Mm-hmm. We should join. And I go, okay. And she's like, oh, and in a couple of months, they're having a conference. And it's in South Carolina, wherever her family lives. We should go. I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh, and they're having a design competition. It's not enough time to really design something new, but you probably have something lying around because like they're due really soon. So we should enter the design competition. So I go, okay. And like, I literally take the blanket off of Kyla's bed that I had made like 3 years earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Yank it off her bed, wash it because we've used it for like picnics on the floor in the living room while we're watching strawberry shortcake and stuff and all of this stuff. Wash it, throw it on the floor. My husband and I are walking around looking for ends that need to be like woven in or whatever. Toss it in a box, send it off. We go to the conference. We have a great time. The blanket takes second place in the accessories category.
What?
I have people asking me if they can be my mentor. Okay. So I ended up with Andrew Graves as my official mentor and Mary Beth Temple as my unofficial mentor. And they are both two of my closest friends to this day at this point.
Wow.
Like Mary Beth's daughter lives in the next town. And for a while, Mary Beth was living out in Indiana. And because she had lived here in Jersey and then she moved to Indiana. And so like when her daughter would have exams, she was going to Columbia, when she'd have exams or whatever, we'd have her over and feed her and everything. And, you know, I was fill-in mom. And that. She models for the magazine now sometimes and everything. But yeah, but now Mary Beth lives near us too. And so like, I mean, I'm still friends with all these people. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But so we went to this conference and suddenly my blog went from like 50 views a month to like that month it was like 500 and the next month it was like 5,000 and you know it just kept growing. Mm-hmm. And so I learned that when Lorene says, hey Jessie, I just say okay. So she's like, hey Jessie, do you want to buy Crochet Foundry? So I said okay.
Wow, just like that. Wow. She's like, yeah, I did.
Pretty much. And it was like my parents had gone to Italy for their 50th wedding anniversary. Yeah, for their 50th wedding anniversary. Mm-hmm. They were gone for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. When they left, the magazine was not for sale. When they came back, I had bought it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sane.
Wow. I mean, yeah. What Chris said.
I love you, Chris.
Like, what? Okay, so you said, I'll buy it. And then you bought it, and now tell me where it is, what's going on, what's the latest, what's the new, what's the now?
We have switched back recently. We just in May put out our first seasonal issue. So okay. We switched back to seasonal because I was drowning doing monthly.
Yeah.
it wasn't bringing in enough to stay monthly. And they're just, when Furls owned it, there's a lot of you guys there. So even if people are just kind of pitching in a little bit to help out, here and there, people who aren't officially part of the magazine, I know there were people who were just like, oh, here, I can do this and I can do that or whatever. Whereas I'm one person. Anybody else who helps with the magazine, I have to pay them separately. They're not people who I'm already paying for something and I'm just like, oh, now this is part of your job, or you're doing this job, you're doing this aspect instead of that aspect, and I was already paying them. This is like an additional thing for me. So it's a much, obviously it's much bigger for one person to own it than for Furls to own it. And before Furls, it was a collaboration of several designers who owned it. So we just switched back to seasonal, and we have also just switched to profit sharing with the designers and the contributors. So we still pay per hour, like tech editors that we hire, photographer, illustrator. Those two happen to be my kids. Zero is my photographer. He's taken photography classes and stuff. He knows what he's doing. Our proofreaders, every issue we have 2 proofreaders, and they both proofread the magazine independently. So like all of the patterns are tech edited, and we have 2 proofreaders who are also, in addition to that, tech editors. So when they're proofreading, they're also, it's almost like they're not doing all of the tech editing stuff, like they're not doing all the math and everything, but they know they're able to, when they're looking it over, they still sometimes catch some things. So so it's definitely, it's a big endeavor. But by switching it over to seasonal, I'm now able to also focus a lot more on the community, which is something that's really super important to me. Is providing that community, having that community. It was already because of the, everyone who owned it before me. It was already a very welcoming, opening, safe space. Which was also one of the, motivating factors to wanting to buy it. Is I knew that it was going to come with an audience who already was going to be, basically like my kind of people. So, I'm very much focusing on making sure that we continue to have that safe space, and that we are there encouraging others within the industry, helping each other, because like I said, that community thing is huge to me. So we've started a community over on Discord. I just opened up a Discord server like a week or 2 ago. And I have a Patreon that people can join, so because we've been doing like crochet alongs and everything. And if you're one of the patrons on Patreon, you can get the PDFs of the patterns for free. Patterns are all the patterns that we use for our crochet alongs are all free online. A lot of them are actually Jessie at Home patterns that are free on my website, but they're all free online. And Jessie at Home is an ad-supported site, so when you're looking at the pattern online, there's ads and stuff, and that's how I get paid as the designer. But if the ads are bugging you, you can always buy the PDF. If you're a Patreon patron, you get the PDFs of the crochet along patterns for free while the crochet along is happening. And then we do interviews with fiber artists. So those can be people who crochet. We had London K. It can be people who knit. So we had Mochi Mochi Land, who does those really cute little gifts, with her things. I just love those. We have people who use fiber in other ways. So we have like Michelle. It starts with an F, and now I can't get her last name. But she does this amazing designs, these beautiful pieces of jewelry they're silver, and she uses felt So it's like silver shapes with the felt put into it. Michelle Friedman, I think, maybe.
Ooh.
But they're beautiful, beautiful pieces of jewelry. We've done people who use crocheted or knit pieces and run them through like a printing press kind of thing, you know.
Oh, wow.
So all sorts of fiber artists that
Love it.
you know, we like to interview them. It's super fun to share those artists with our followers and to also be giving the, you know, little boost hopefully to them. And then we also have education in the magazine, and we're working on getting more of that on the blog and doing more like book and product reviews between both Jessie at Home and Crochet Foundry. So we're working a lot on that community and education aspect.
Love it. Love, love, love to see it. You know, people hear Crochet Foundry and they think, oh, they're only going to be talking about crochet, but it's really for fiber artists and people who are interested in fiber art. So that's so stinking cool. Now, how do you still have the subscription model
We
for the
do
magazine?
now. Yeah, now that we switched back to seasonal, what we have is usually the month before the season starts is when the magazine goes for sale. So we had May was the summer issue. In August, we'll be selling the fall issue. And what happens is on like the second or third Friday of the month, the magazine goes for sale to people who have a subscription. So if you have a previous annual subscription, that's when you'll get your magazine. If you don't, then that's when you can buy your magazine as a, you know, for the next 4 issues for 1 full year. And then a week later on the next Friday, that seasonal issue goes for sale as an individual issue. So if you go in to buy it and you're like, I can only buy a year subscription, a year membership, don't worry, you're just in that first week. The next week you can buy the individual one, and you get a little less expensive, a little less if you buy it for a year than if you buy it individually. But I know that not everybody can afford that, you know, chunk of cash at one point. So that's, you have your options there.
That's super smart. Love that. You know, there are options and ways to do it. Now, since it's going to be seasonal, how many patterns are you aiming for in each issue now?
I'm aiming for like 9 to 12 in each issue. We were doing like 5 to 9, and now I'm aiming for 9 to 12. But we're also doing, in addition to those, some of the articles and stuff have like free patterns that go with them, because they're, you know, it might be an article about, you know, making earrings, and so there's a free earring patterns, because when we're, you know, the main patterns for the magazine are mostly like garments and larger items, but then sometimes there might be like a collection of things, or you know, an article about something that then has a free pattern or two that goes with it or whatever. And we're also going to be looking at some patterns, that older Crochet Foundry patterns that were made in yarns that are discontinued, and then maybe kind of republishing those in a current yarn. That's
cool. That's a great idea, because you have a ginormous library of patterns. So to go back, you know, would be really, really smart. Really smart.
And our fall issue is in the works, like, is, you know, getting put together right now. But then the winter issue is going to be about like slow fashion, reduce, reuse, recycle. So in there, we're going to have patterns and articles about, like, if you have a skirt from when you were like a teenager that no longer fits you, but you loved it, how can you like open up the sides and put some crochet panels in it, and now you can wear it again? Or, you know, your favorite shirt or whatever had a hole in it, or the sleeves are, you know, the cuffs are tattered, so maybe you want to take the sleeves off and put crochet sleeves on it.
Yes.
Or, you know, go to the thrift store, you know, you need a few new items, go to the thrift store, and then how can you take these thrift store items and give them new life, or turn those thrift store finds, the fabric, into yarn. So this is people are always giving me fabric because I have my past is costume designer, right? So I've been sewing since I was like 5. I've been crocheting since I was like 9. But
Wow.
People are always giving me scrap fabric. Like, oh, here, let me give you all my fabric. So I have all of this, especially quilt fabric, which works great as yarn. So I've been actually making some items. There's a hat pattern made with knit collage yarn in the March issue. And I've actually made it. I love it with the knit collage yarn. And I've also made a couple of them in yarn that I made with scrap fabric. So we'll talk about how you can, go to the thrift store and get like old sheets or whatever and turn it into yarn and then crochet something with that. So that's going to be the winter issue is going to be a lot about that slow fashion, and that helps you save the environment, save some money, all of that sort of stuff.
Love it. Love it. So exciting. Thank you to Heather, who's been putting links in the comment section.
Thank you, Heather. I love Heather.
Find you. Love Heather. She is did I show you? Heather made this for me.
Oh, I've seen some of those on her Facebook. She is awesome.
And she sent it to me. And because I didn't receive any of those limited edition colorful hooks or whatever, she sent me a bunch of hooks that was in her stash. And I was just like,
she was such a sweetie. I met Heather in person at it might have been the very last TNNA trade show. Or maybe I don't remember if it was the TNNA or if it was the last AFCI when they also had TNNA there. I met her in person there, and then when I bought Furls, I didn't buy Furls. When I bought Crochet Foundry from Furls,
yes, she
was hugely helpful. Like she was the person kind of in charge of teaching me the ropes.
Yes.
And I was able to hire her on to do some of the stuff for the first few issues.
Nice.
So I could like kind of slowly work my way in. It's like when I had the twins and they were both in the NICU, and one got out after 7 days and one got out after 13 days. It was like, I tell my daughter she was my test subject baby because I had her for a week, and then I got the other one. So
I love it.
So like Heather was able to like keep a hold of some of the things she had already been doing for a little while, and then like slowly hand them off to me. So I didn't completely lose my mind more than it was already lost.
She's such an amazing lady and always keeps me in the know. She creates all the graphics for the lives and that kind of thing. So we appreciate you, Heather. Just in case you haven't heard it this week, I just want to say thank you for being amazing and awesome. Jessie, thank you for being amazing and awesome. I'm so glad that you are the one who got Crochet Foundry and that you're keeping it alive and doing so many incredible, cool things with it. I love that you do lunch with Crochet Foundry, like you were having those lives that you were doing, the sit and stitch. Like you have so much going on.
Yeah, and if you go to crochetfoundry.com, there's a tab that says community, and that tells you a lot of that stuff. And under the community tab is an event calendar, and I try to make sure that I put everything on there, both in person and virtual, so people can see what's happening.
That's awesome. Okay, so now I have to ask you a question about your favorite hook. What's the hook that you go to first these days?
I love anything streamlined. So any of the streamlined shape. I think most of my those aren't the streamlined shapes. You know what? I have them all upstairs, all of my like metal ones, because I've been making some stuff. But this shape, because I grip really tightly. If you give me just a plain like one of these, like if you give me just a plain hook like this, I will hold it too tight and my hands will start to go numb.
Yep.
Right? Or I'll get nail prints in here if I haven't filed my nails down or whatever. So I find that there's something about, I mean, obviously it's a little thicker, but in addition to that, with the way that I hold the hook, that I happen to hold the hooks, I find that this just makes me relax my grip. Like I don't choke it. It makes me hold it in a more relaxed manner. So, and I like it because it doesn't have any bumps or anything. So I don't think about where it's pressing on me or anything.
Yeah. Likewise. All right. So are you a knife grip?
Yeah.
When you yep, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. I'm a knifer. So okay, and then I was talking, I always talk to Pam and Lorraine, and when you guys are doing the business side of things, it makes it hard to design, hard to really crochet. How do you make time to crochet or to design?
Well, I am very ADHD.
Okay.
And I have always managed that through creativity. And so, like, I am incapable of sitting still. I'm incapable of paying attention to something if I'm sitting still.
Okay.
So, like, when I was even in high school, when my teachers wouldn't let me doodle, and the person in front of me would get mad because I kept swinging my feet and kicking their chair by mistake, so I had to sit still, I would not do as good in those classes as when I could doodle or whatever. Like I had to be doing something. So like my family, they all, after dinner, we just kind of chill in the living room and we'll watch some TV or movies together or whatever. And whenever we do that, I'm crocheting or knitting. And I do also, if I have time that I need to be designing or whatever, I'll work it into my schedule. Susan, I love Susan so much. Susan has a beautiful, beautiful, totally my kind of design cowl in I believe it was the November edition of Crochet Foundry.
Okay.
I love it. It's worked side to side. Ooh. And the increases are done. This is such an ADHD thing. I just totally was like, squirrel. The increases are done by doing like single crochet, then half double crochet, then double crochet, since it's worked side to side. It's so my kind of thing. Like I've done that. I do that trick all the time. And so as soon as I got that design proposal, I was like, ooh, I like this.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Not to change the subject really quickly, I guess you're right, Susan. We all do have ADHD, but you said something about design. Do you still accept designs? Like, how is that process for Crochet Foundry?
Yes, I do. And we're actually, this evening, I'm going to be sending out an additional call for the winter issue for some more. I just need a few more upcycling kind of or crocheting with fabric or whatever ideas. So what we do is, again, if you go to crochetfoundry.com and in the navigation menu, there's about. If you click on that, underneath there, one of the little links says submit a pattern. And so when you click on that, that'll allow you to sign up for the mailing list that I send all of the design calls to. So all you have to do is put yourself on that mailing list. And not only put you on the submit a pattern mailing list. If you want to be on the regular old Crochet Foundry mailing list, just go to crochetfoundry.com, scroll to the bottom, and there's where you can sign up for the mailing list, for the newsletter or whatever. But under the submit a pattern, if you sign up there, that's only going to sign you up to get the design calls. And we send those out. And it gives you all the information you need as to what we're looking for and the dates and all of that sort of stuff. I just saw somebody asked if you're looking for Chris. Yeah, you saw it too. It just caught my eye. In the winter issue, if it fits with our theme, like maybe you want to, when we're talking about, reduce, reuse, recycle, if somebody wanted to write an article along with a little tutorial about how to like take your Christmas or holiday cards and use a hole punch to punch holes in them, and then crochet a decorative little thing around it to make an ornament or something like that. Like that fits our theme, right? And it also doesn't necessarily have to be specific to one holiday, so it becomes useful for more of our readers. So you know, I try to, when we're doing holiday things, find ways that it works for people beyond just that holiday. So I mean, you know, so I wouldn't necessarily be like, let's make a stocking, because that's basically only Christmas,
right?
You know, but some sort of like a cool way to make an ornament out of a card. Well, that works for, you can do that with so many different, you can do that with you can make a Valentine's Day with that. You can make a Hanukkah, a Kwanzaa, you know, all those different things. So yeah, as long as it fits within the theme, there's definitely ways to get that going. And the winter theme is more of the reduce, reuse, recycle, and ways to use crochet to save money and the planet.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The website has been placed inside the comments section. So if you guys are looking for the link, it's in there. And you can go to the website, Crochet Foundry, and go to the navigation and get on the list so that you can get your designs in the magazine. I was in the magazine.
I love this. Somebody said they're working on Happy Holidays tapestry right now. Challah, like the Jewish bread challah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's adorable. Love it.
If you saw me start laughing, that's why, because I looked over and saw that. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is awesomeness. I'm not being, I know there's the way to say it, the kind of the beginning of the word challah that I know I don't say it properly.
Me either. But yeah, I think it's so cool. There's so many creative people, you know, in the world, and so many different ideas. And so a Crochet Foundry magazine is definitely a place for people who are creative. Submit your designs if it fits the theme. If it fits the theme for this time, great. If it fits the theme for a time coming up. So if you send it in, there's a possibility that Jessie might reach out to you in September of 2027. Who knows? You never know. You never know. Things happen.
And we also, you're able to sell your own patterns on Crochet Foundry. This, like how you sell them on Ravelry or Etsy. So in that same place where you can find the submit a pattern, go to crochetfoundry.com. Under About, one of them says IDP, which is Independent Designer Program, and it says I think like submit a design or sell your designs or something. I don't remember exactly what it says, but that explains how the Independent Designer Program works, and you can sell your own patterns on Crochet Foundry. We use an app called Collab Pay that actually, it allows you to see what your sales are. It allows you to see which ones of your patterns are sold and everything. So it's not just like, you're not just trusting that I'm going to be honest with you about how many patterns you sold and how much you made. You get all of those stats because of the app that we use. So you know that you're, you know, if you don't know me, then you don't have to worry about whether or not you know you can trust me.
That's super cool. You guys, like, Crochet Foundry is making it happen for you all. So I highly encourage you, everybody, to go and visit the website today. Click around. There's so much on there, and there are so many opportunities available for you. So Jessie, thank you. Really appreciate you. I'm so glad that you were, like I said before, I mean it. I'm so glad you were the person who purchased the magazine. I think it is in great hands. And you're doing super cool things with it. Keep up all
I'm having so much fun.
Yes.
Really, and I'm so excited that we just discovered we're neighbors.
I was like, really? You live in Jersey right now?
Yeah, like we're neighbors, dude.
We'll have to figure out a play date one of these days, and like, you know what I mean, and make it happen.
Yeah,
that would be so fun. Let me model for the magazine.
Oh my goodness, totally.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I would. You could totally be a model. That would be the best. I'll have to let you know next time we're looking for some models, man.
Let me know. Let me know.
Because I am very much, yeah, I've been, also that's something that, you know, we work to keep our diversity everywhere. You know, so I've been working really hard on making sure that I'm finding designers, not like, I didn't just want the models to be diverse. It's like, it's great. We have very diverse models, but, you know, and I mean, not just in like, in race, but also in size and in age. Like, I've been trying really hard to make sure that we have a really good variety, and that the cover model isn't always a skinny white girl, which, I mean, again, that was already the way that it was when I bought the magazine. This is not me saying I had to fix this. No. It was already this way.
Yes.
But like, when I first bought the magazine, I reached out to Britt, Not Bad Britt, who also is the founder of the Makers of Color Collective, to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do to get the design calls and everything out to a more diverse community. And since then, Britt has become a dear friend. Like, oh my goodness, she's just so freaking cool. Britt and Natalie of Detroit Knots are, the two of them are like my power couple of like helping me figure out how to best reach a larger, more diverse audience, and also how to work better with designers. Because as much as I'm a designer as well, it's hard to police yourself. I hate using the word police. It's hard to oversee yourself. So, you know, they'll tell me if I'm doing something that's taking advantage of my designers, and they'll tell me if I'm being far too nice to my designers and therefore taking advantage of myself.
Yourself, right.
They will totally give me the come to Jesus moments. And I have had a lot of come to Jesus moments with those two. They're like, Jessie, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh, what did I do now?
What did I do now? It's so important to have those people in your life, though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they keep you honest. They keep you where you need to be. So I encourage anybody, make sure you have those people in your circle. You don't always want folks who are like, oh, you're doing such a great job. No, you want to be like, yeah, well, you could have did this a little bit different. You're awesome, but you could have did this a little bit different.
Yeah. You need the friends who will have the come to Jesus moments with you.
Yes, they
and
are.
You don't, as somebody who is not a Jesus follower, let me tell you, you do not need to be a Jesus follower to have a come to Jesus moment.
No, you do not. You do not. But it's so important to have those people in your corner who will like help you level set, who will like ask you the questions so that you could think about it and be like, oh yeah, I screwed up, that I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have said that, you know. And that goes for everything. That goes for business, that goes for personal relationships, you know. Even with when you're raising your children, you need somebody who will be like, you know what, you were off on that one, you could have handled that better with that kid, like, you know, or you did a wonderful job, you know, teach me how you manage that, you know. So
my kids tell me themselves if I've screwed something up. You know how like humbling it is when your kid is like, you know what, I don't really feel like that was fair. I feel like that was maybe an overreaction. And they're right.
Yep. And having to eat that is
so
like,
annoying.
Nabbit, you're right. It's like, I messed up. But I'm so thankful. My mom, she was really, really, she was just an amazing mother. And she always had the ability to say, I'm sorry, that was my bad, I messed up.
Yeah,
I'll do better next time.
So important as a parent.
So important, because we don't all have it right. We're all still learning, right? I've never had a 21-year-old. My son is getting ready to be 21, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to parent a 21-year-old. Like, because I know I can't treat him like I treat the 17-year-old. So it's like finding that balance. So you need the people, and you need your kids. You need to listen. You need to have open ears and an open heart to hear and understand, right?
Yeah.
And to listen, not to respond, but to listen just to listen.
Can be very
we're all learning.
Yeah.
All learning. Oh my gosh, Jessie, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This was an
Yeah.
amazing live. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Congratulations again to the winner. It's almost up on an hour of this live. And that means we were having a good combo.
Yeah.
That's
It's hard to get me to shut up.
Oh, stop it. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before I say see you later?
Just that I have had a wonderful time, and thank you so much for being here, everybody. And I am trying to kind of read the comments as they're scrolling by, and you guys are amazing.
Love this one. My daughter is 42 and I'm still learning. Serious, man. This parenting thing is no joke. These kids came with no instructions. You're just trying to figure it out. And I'm sorry, it causes you to have grace toward your parents because you're like, they didn't know either. They had no clue what they were doing, you know? So, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Just I could go on a little rant. Thank you again, Jessie. I'm going to drop you off so I can say bye-bye to the friends and remind them who the winner was for this week. Thank you again. And let's figure out a play date or a model date or something date.
Yeah, no, we're totally, now that we realize we're neighbors, we're going to have some fun together.
Yes, let's do it. All right. Have fun at Pride. Be safe, but have so much fun.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wasn't that so cool, y'all? I love having conversations with people like Jessie, who is doing the darn thing. She is such an inspiration. Make sure you go and check out crochetfoundry.com. Check out Jessie at home. All the things. Check out all the things that she's doing. All right? Pay attention. Click the links and all the stuff. So the winner for this week was, hold on a minute. Let me go on. I have to go back over here. Lisa H. in Pennsylvania. Congratulations to you, Lisa H. in Pennsylvania. This is what she won because I couldn't remember, y'all. She won the Emmy Raylan Scrappy Girl Crochet Kit. So congratulations to you, Lisa. Y'all remember Pam did 2 crochet evenings with this amazing designer. So that is what Lisa won. So congratulations. Next week's giveaway is Aurora Polished in sizes 5, 6, and 7. And today's newest addition to the Furls family is this beautiful ebony 8-hook standing display. It is fantastic. It holds 8 hooks. Go to the website, check it out, and get you a hook stand. All right, everybody. Now, make sure that you are taking good care of your body. Roll those shoulders and wrists so that you can crochet for as long as you want. You are using the best tools. Yes, I said it. You are using the best tools to crochet with. So make sure that you're taking really good care of yourself while you do so. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. For those of you who are participating in any Pride parades or events this weekend, please be careful, but have so much fun. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.